Aura farmers in fiction. That is what we are going to be talking about today, okay? And before you say, how is this any different than just going over characters with the most aura? And I would say, I'm very glad you asked that, because I'm going to be real with you. I've been looking for a way to make this because it's trying to find like the best way that I can illustrate this point. The art of aura farming is essentially, is it the most efficient thing to do? No. But does it look cool? Yes. So I'm going to do it, okay? You ever see somebody do something and you're like, yeah, there's no like actual reason you should be doing that, but oh my goodness, bro, does it not look cool? Like an example of this would be like Batman dressing up as a bat. There is literally no reason to do that. Well, it instills fear. Dog, I'm sorry. There are literally 50 more things that would be more terrifying than dressing up as a bat. And I'm somebody living in Gotham. I'm just going to be honest with you, dog. If you strolled up to me wearing a bat costume and you proceeded to put the 3-piece and the soda on me, I'm not terrified of you because you look like a bat. I'm terrified because you just hit me with the 3-piece and the soda. And you're 6'5". That's all. That is the reason why I would be scared. Another one. Gojo. Dude, the entirety of his curse technique is quite literally, yeah, bro, like, I could beat, like, any of you guys, like, in a one-on-one scuffle. So, like, I'm going to make myself look as cool as possible. Like, brother, the entire matchup he has with Toji Fushiguro is literally just him aura farming until he loses patience, and then he's like, hollow purple. That's literally what it is. And then that got me thinking, what other characters in fiction believe sacrifice literally every little bit of practicality for the sake of aura? They engage in the aura farming before they participate in literally anything that would be perceived as just effective to do, okay? That is what we are going to be talking about today. People who prefer style over substance, the most notorious aura farmers in fiction. That is what we're going to be talking about. Okay, if you enjoy this video or you're excited, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6. I believe we're going to get it halfway through September. That's I'm not the goal, but that's my that's what I think we're going to hit. We started the year with 74,000 subscribers. We're now at 200, and it's actually insane. I try not to think about it because it gets me like, huh? We did what? I'm blessed to do what I do. I'll be able to experiment with different types of videos moving forward purely because the support is there for me to make different types of videos. I feel blessed to do what I'm able to do. And frankly, I'm just here for making videos for you. We also are relaunching the other channel, Cage-Side Convos, for MMA stuff. Whole other thing, there'll be a link below. I do believe there will be a link below. But if you want to find it, just look it up. I'm sure you'll find it. Okay, well, we'll talk about MMA stuff. And with all that out of the way, let's get into aura farmers in fiction. Let's go. Satoru Gojo. Let me tell you something, bro. If you have an ability that literally makes it so nobody could ever touch you, okay? You are one of the richest characters on the mainline cast. Cast. Dang, man, I was losing it right there. Okay? Force field, done. Most overpowered, you literally inherited the most overpowered abilities in the verse, okay? To the point that there is a meme of, are you the strongest because you are Satoru Gojo, or are you Satoru Gojo because you are the strongest, okay? All that to basically say, you were born into literal, plot-altering power, okay? That's the truth. What do you do at that point? You just aura farm, dog. Literally everything that you do. Like, brother, you don't need to get jacked. You don't need to. Nobody can touch you, man. But you are going to do. What's the point of engaging in hand-to-hand combat at all when you literally have the delete move that just gets rid of you? Dog, there's a whole point in, like, the JJK movie that he is literally facing basically this poor NPC, and he allows him to do all these things, like summon like people to face him, just so he could show off how powerful he is, and then he loses patience and then proceeds to throw hands. You didn't even need to do that. You could just hollow purple. I'm sorry, like, literally everything Gojo is doing is like, brother, you don't have to do. Why didn't you do that sooner? Because it wouldn't be as fun. Brother, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. When I'm putting Gojo anywhere, brother, he's too cool for his own good. Like, I'll say this right now. He would have beaten Sukuna if he didn't just try to aura farm at the very last minute and literally drop his guard for a split second. At that point, I'm putting in Gojo. Brother, he's just too cool. He's just too cool. I got to put him right there. Sauron. Yeah, no, brother. I'll say this right now. Sauron literally is ruling his army through aura alone. I'm not even kidding you, brother. Like, you know what really messes with my brain a little bit? The fact that, like, Sauron had a physical form during the Lord of the Rings. He did. He had a physical form. Gollum's able to see it, and he describes him as like a being of fire. Okay? And he's missing one of his fingers that, like, the ring got cut off. That was the only thing he couldn't regenerate. But he proceeds to literally just rule his army through just being Sauron, the Dark Lord. Bro doesn't do anything. He doesn't. Well, like, on a real... What did Sauron do during Lord of the Rings? Well, he was trivialized into this. Brother, they didn't even get rid of Sauron early. When they got rid of the ring, what essentially happened is Sauron got reduced to a whisper in the wind, a shadow in the light. That's essentially what Sauron's been reduced to. He's literally been reduced to what is a vibe. They turned Sauron into a vibe. That's what ended up happening, dude. But, like, I've said this multiple times. Sauron doesn't really do anything in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, no. In the first time that Sauron gains to power, when we're looking at stuff that he did with Galadriel, yeah, no. Sauron was a bit more involved with, like, Celebrimbor and the original ring making. Bro, he was doing a lot of there. But, bro, ever since then, bro didn't do any level of heavy lifting. He was just kind of like, bro, I'm fucking Sauron. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to face anybody. He didn't face anybody! He was like, yeah, dog, fucked, the ring of power, yeah, bro, let it. You think Frodo is going to be able to bring it to Mount Doom? Pfft, bro, I'll corrupt him. Oh, look, yeah, we corrupted Frodo. Wait a minute, who's Samwise, who's Sam? What do you mean Sam is impervious to getting corrupted? Why didn't they just give it to him? Brother Sauron, we're asking the same questions here. I'm sorry, bro, when I'm thinking about Sauron, he's like, style over everything. He made his armor look like that specifically because he wanted to be like the Dark Lord. He wanted to look... Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, no, I'll put style over everything. Style over everything. I'll put it right there. He did a little bit, but style over everything. John Wick. I'm sorry. Brother, he gets on here off rip. Purely because ain't no reason you gotta be looking all dripped out like that to do your job. That's all I'm saying, okay? Like, I can give a pass to all of the extracurricular martial arts that you're doing because you hit an imminent... Bro, I need you to think about this. He heel hooked a guy to pull it out, bang, bang. Like I'm not kidding. That is John Wick. You don't have to be doing all of that. There's lots of less flashy way. Brother, the way that John Wick does jiu-jitsu is quite literally the most flashy possible. You don't have to do all of that. You don't have to hit an Imanari roll to leg lock your opponent when you literally got the force multiplier on the hip. You don't have to be doing all of that. You don't have to be dressed into the absolute gills. And I know the plot reason is, well, actually, it's a Kevlar infused. Okay, that's not how Kevlar works. Sorry, I get it. It's meant to be a plot thing, and I'll overlook it. But brother, I'm sorry. This man is dripped out to the nine, absurd, just to aura farm. Now, I am gonna put it style over substance, just a little bit. Not style over everything, style over substance. Why? Because he does do a lot of stuff that's, like, admittedly, that's pretty effective. Like, there's some stuff he could have been hitting a Leon Kennedy and doing a backflip out of different places. But no. I'm gonna put it in style over substance. Not trying too hard, but style over substance. Vergil. I am the store that is a proud say. I'm sorry, bro. Vergil 100% is a tier 1, division 1 level aura farmer. The only one that I would put as competitive with him in terms of aura farming would literally be Dante, his brother. But I think that they are literally committing the same thing. I'm sorry, in a hack and slash where you has a weapon that could literally cut through the fabric of space and time. Okay? And he proceeds to be like, yeah, I'm only going to use it to make my moves even look just a little bit cooler. I can literally, like, cut the amount of practicality that the Yamato has, only for him to use it for aura farming, is absolutely hilarious. Brother, everything that he said is calculated to exude the most. Okay? Every single line that... Vergil's never had a cringe line. I'm sorry. Or he's trying too hard. That's what I gotta say, but it just works. Whenever Vergil turns up on screen, I'm like, let's go, dude. Let's go. Every time Vergil turns up, I just put it on there, okay? I'm putting Vergil in one of the aura farmers. One of the, okay? I gotta put him up there, okay? Dante. Twin brothers, same level. I would argue, if anything, Dante's trying a little bit too hard, but at the same time, brother, I would put him at the same level as a Vergil. Okay, he doesn't need to be doing all of this. He doesn't need to be whipping out ebony and ivory. He doesn't need to be doing a dance just to be looking a little bit cooler. I would actually argue, you know what, Dante might be aura farming a bit more than Vergil, because at least Vergil's considered the serious brother. Think about that. Vergil, after all of that's considered the serious one. You know what, bro? Dante goes above him. Dante's hitting a Michael Jackson dance just because he put on a hat. Okay, I'm sorry. He has these literal Eldritch-level weaponry, and he's proceeding to be like, yeah, bro, I'm going to turn it into a motorcycle. Yeah, know what? No. One of the aura farmers. I got to put him up there, dude. I got to put him right there. Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime secures himself on here purely because of the absurd level one-liners that he is hitting in literally every single combat scene that he is in. I'm sorry, dude. You can dislike Transformers 2. I think Transformers 2 is pretty bad. However, his whole sequence when he's facing the Decepticons 3-on-1, I don't care if it kind of breaks the reality because Megatron kind of gets reduced to just a fodder enemy when you realize that Optimus Prime could have been doing a 3v1. It's like, yeah, that's kind of dumb. That is kind of dumb. I will admit that. But oh my goodness, bro. When Optimus does his thing, when he's doing this aura-filled monologue to get everybody ready to go, okay? When he's doing his whole thing where he's whipping out like just some weaponry that would have been real useful in the time before him. The fact that he's still using a sword because it looks cool. All of that. You have to put him up there. Yeah, and you know what cemented him on here? The fact that a robot, okay, I need to think about this. A robot pulls a medieval sword out of a sip, grows mechanical biceps to rip the sword out, and he rides a T-Rex into battle. Brother, too cool. Too cool. Style over everything, too cool. Same thing, brother, there are multiple times where I'm like, yo, Optimus, you didn't have to do all that. Roll out! No, too cool. I gotta put him there. Leon Kennedy. I'm gonna say it right now, bro. Okay, Leon Kennedy. He had me in the first half. Okay, Resident Evil 2. Okay, I get it. This is where he started losing me. Where I'm literally seeing Leon Kennedy do a backflip over an attack that he could have just been like. You didn't have to do the backflip. You didn't have to hit like a literal triple-decker kickflip spin kick combo to do all that. You just didn't. And that is what I feel about Leon Kennedy. Leon Kennedy, bro, I feel like he's trying a bit too hard. And it was cool. I mean, and you to think about this. Resident Evil used to try to be semi-serious. They did. They tried to be semi-serious. And Leon Kennedy, I call it like mid-2000s energy. There was a point in 2007, and it was like a point over like 2 years, where they were like, do you know what would make this combat sequence way cooler? Make one of the characters do an unnecessary backflip. And that infected movies, and we all saw that in movies. But then we saw it in Resident Evil, where I need you to understand, the original story of Resident Evil is basically a zombie outbreak with a whole bunch of bioweapons, okay? Leon Kennedy is hitting a backflip to get out of the way of what is essentially a Marvel villain. I'm sorry, dude. Leon Kennedy trying too hard. Trying too hard. Get a haircut. Get a haircut, dude. Darth Vader. Let me tell you something, bro. Darth Vader's getting his hand dirty. He just looks like that, okay? His armor is it. I think I gave Darth Vader like top tier level like aura when it came to his armor alone. But there's something about the fact that like him just breathing instills a feeling inside of you. And this is why he's on this list. The idea in like the last part of Rogue One, where all of these traitors, keep in mind, this is like a time-sensitive matter. Darth Vader needs to be getting there as quick as possible. He proceeds to wait at the end of the hallway. And then he waits for them to be terrified so he can do it. When in reality, he didn't have to aura farm like that. And he could have actually beaten the rebels right then and there if he just, was a bit quicker. That cements him on this list. Everything else, he's pretty practical. I think every once in a while, bro, he's doing style over substance. It's not style over everything. There's a point where Darth Vader's like, let's get this done. My lightsaber style doesn't. Anakin aura farm too much over more than Darth Vader. Darth Vader, his lightsaber style was just, I'm gonna whack the shit out of you. I mean, like, look at that. Look at the prequel dueling style, and then look at Darth Vader's dueling style. I know there's a lore reason, but at the same time, like, bro was a bit more serious about it. Style over substance, I'll put him right there. The Joker. Okay, when we're looking at the Joker, I'm going to look at Heath Ledger's Joker because I think this is a good microcosm. Remember when I said that there was a point in the early 2000s where, like, there'd be a good combat scene, and then somebody would do a backflip, okay? Joker, I swear, bro, set people off on this, like, edgy... Dude, you can tell. There will be some stories that you read, or some characters. You'll even see some Redditors that I believe saw Heath Ledger's Joker and then was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I need you to think about, there was a time where Heath Ledger's Joker was literally like one of the most menacing things there ever was, and it became cringe. If I do a Heath Ledger's impression right now, it is cringe. And the reason why is it just did not age. There's a lot of like... I'm trying to figure out the good term for this. There's music from the mid-2000s. There's movies. There's villains that just do not age well. And Heath Ledger's Joker, it's not that he doesn't age well, but you can sometimes feel the Redditor energy that got inspired off of him. And I think a lot of that is it super positive or a no? But there's something there. When I'm looking at Heath Ledger's Joker, brother, it is style over everything. He dresses up like a fucking clown. Like, I'm sorry, he has literally style over everything. I have to put him there. He's literally born for there. I have to put him there. Doomslayer. Now, Master Chief is not going to be on here because everything that Master Chief does is for a purpose, and I feel like he just looks cool, so it's not really aura farming. There is literally no reason for the Doomslayer to have a fucking cape. There is no reason for the Doomslayer to be manifesting weapons when he can literally do it all with his bare hands. There is no reason for him to, instead of, like, communicating to people the plan of what he's trying to do, he just stands there in silence aura farming. There is no reason, instead of trying to communicate with the people that you're trying to defend, okay, your comrades, but you proceed to stand in a corner and just pose. That is how I can describe it. Doomslayer aura farms to a degree that I almost believe is a little bit too much when it's not very practical. Master Chief will at least try to coordinate with you. Doomslayer's like, nah, doesn't match it. You got to at least be at a cinematic moment for me to say a word. The god of the multiverse asked me a question. You know what I'm going to say to him? No. That is the only thing I'm going to say. When I'm looking at Doomslayer... Brother, his armor has no reason to look that cool. His cape has no reason to look that cool. He is literally the Antichrist of the devil. I'm putting them every once in a while, style over substance. I gotta put it right there. Griffith from Berserk. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because I just need to bring this one up. Griffith is literally the definition of trying too hard. Literally everything that Griffith does in the story, okay, is a calculated, like, effort to look as cool as possible. He doesn't have to be dressing in white. He doesn't have to give his horse the coolest fucking armor there ever is. He doesn't have to give himself a literal falcon helmet. He doesn't have to look like a femboy. He just does because he thinks it builds his aura. Whenever you look at Guts just looks cool. He just does, okay? Griffith, literally everything he does is meant to build an artificial image so people think he's cooler than he is. Brother, he literally made up a speech to tell a girl so he could get with her because it sounded like the correct thing to say. He tries too hard. He tries too hard. I have to put him in. Tries too hard. I have to do it. Iron Man. Oh, 100% Iron Man's on here. Brother, you think he has to have a red suit? No. The whole reason why he has a red and, like, brass suit is because it looks cool. Dude, some of y'all forgot, dude. Like, Tony Stark is a showman above everything, dude. Everything that he does. Like, he could just make a military cam, like, type of, like, Iron Man suit that isn't meant to be looking all spadazzled. No, it's just meant to get the job done. He doesn't have to do any of that. He has stealth tech. He has all of this. He doesn't have to be flashy about it. He just insists upon it because it insists upon itself every once in a while. Everything is about substance with Tony Stark. It's literally a cornerstone of his character. He could do stuff that's a bit more efficient, but it wouldn't look as cool. When in reality, it's like, no, bro, he just wants to look cool a little bit. Dog, he literally had I need you to think about this. What Tony Stark does in, like, Iron Man 2, where he hosts a concert with the Iron Man suit, would be the equivalent of, like, if Lockheed Martin made an Iron Man suit and they showed up at a Taylor Swift concert. That is literally Iron Man. Okay? I'm sorry. Iron Man just too cool for that. He's not in Aura Farmer state, but he's up there. He's very, very, very close. Very close. Next to Optimus Prime. Very close. He has a few good one-liners. I'm going to put it right there. Batman. Yeah, I gotta put Batman. Batman's going high. I'm sorry. There's a lot of stuff that, like, is just aura farming that was popularized by Batman. Batman doesn't have to stand on the side of a building during a rainy night and look down at Gotham City. Brother, you literally have a radio scanner that will tell you exactly where everything is. You don't have to be out here barely catching a cold. You don't have to dress up as a bat. You are a regular dude. You could just be wearing some you don't even need a cape. You don't even need a cape. You could just wear, like, military gear and it would still work. Okay? But no. He dresses up as a bat. He drives around the Aura-mobile itself, the Batmobile. He has a bat cycle. He has fucking bat cave that is so cool that I might make a whole video looking over, like, coolest places to live. Okay? And the bat cave has no reason to look as cool as it does. Bro, I'll tell you this right now. Batman does all of this because in his mind it's meant to instill fear in the dissidents of Gotham. No, bro, you just want to aura farm. I'm putting Batman one of the aura farmers. I just gotta put him there. And there you go. Those are some of the biggest aura farmers in fiction. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We're on track to do it because of the support of you guys. I was tripping over myself. And let's try to hit 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6. We started the year at 74,000 subscribers. We are now at 250,000. Let's try to end the year off with, like, I don't know what we're going to do. I think we'll get 300. I do believe that. I think we'll be able to hit 300,000 subscribers. I think that's a pretty solid possibility. And we're starting off another channel. I think I've already said that at the beginning. But we're doing the Cade Side combos just for, like, the MMA people, because I do have a weird amount of MMA fan base. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That's a whole other thing that I'll talk about later on. But that is going to be the video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Adios, guys.